Hi and welcome to Simple and Easy Hub. Let's study about research methodology. This is an important subject for BBA, MBA, and those who want to undertake any kind of market survey or research. So this is the introductory video. So let's look at the introduction. The word research is composed of two syllables, re and search. Research is research. Re is the prefix. It means again, again and again, or a new means doing it again and a new thing, again doing something with a new way, okay, or over and over again. And what is search? Search is a verb. It means to examine something closely, carefully, to test and to try, or to probe. So together these two words, re and search, become research. And this is again a noun, and it is describing a careful, systematic, patient and renewed study and investigation in some field of knowledge, which is undertaken to establish facts or principles. Now you must understand research is a continuous process. You have to keep doing till you get the results. So research can be expressed as follows. Research is a structured inquiry to utilize acceptable scientific methodology to solve problems and create new knowledge that is generally applicable. That's one sentence which I've broken down so that we can understand one by one. There are so many things we need to know. So research is a structured inquiry, okay? It is not unstructured. It's a structured inquiry. And what is inquiry? Asking questions is inquiry, right? And what do? We are utilizing acceptable scientific methodology. So we cannot do whatever we feel like. There is something acceptable scientific methods. Those methods only have to be used. And I've mentioned what are those scientific methods. That is systematic observation, then classification and interpretation of data. When you're talking of systematic observation, you're also collecting the data. Okay, then you classify it, and after that you will interpret it to get a result. Okay, and these results will help us to solve problems, and it will also create new knowledge which is generally applicable. So it's not just something which is applicable only to us. The research can be of use to greater public also, or to an industry. Depends on who is conducting the research. So let us look at the characteristics of research. To qualify as research, the research process must have certain characteristics. So only if those characteristics are there, it is called as research. If these characteristics are not there, it will not be called research. Okay, so let's start. The first one is we have to use scientific methods. Scientific method. The researcher must use scientific methods to find facts or to provide solutions to specific problems. The researcher needs to follow a systematic procedure to conduct research. There are set guidelines to use in research. Okay, so there are scientific methods and we need to use that, okay, to find facts or to provide solutions. Okay, there is a systematic procedure to conduct a research, and there are guidelines. We have to follow those guidelines. Okay, the second one is it should be objective and logical in nature. The research is based on valid procedures and principles. Okay, there is a need to collect relevant, accurate, and objective data to investigate into the research problem. There is no scope for bias. So, a personal bias should not come into the research. So, it's not like a researcher already has planned, this is what I want to show. Okay, so he is either for it or against it. So, what he'll do, he will create his information, he'll create his data in such a way that either the research will be showing what he wants it to happen, or he'll make the data so manipulated, the data will be so manipulated that it will be against, which again is what the researcher wants. That kind of thing is not acceptable. It has to be objective and it has to be logical. It has to follow logic, not what the no researcher's bias should enter into it. The third point is empirical nature of research. Empirical means based on observation and not on logic. Okay, it has to be, the conclusion has to be based on solid facts. So let's see. Research can be based on direct experience or observation by the researcher. Any conclusion drawn are based on hard evidence gathered from information collected from real life experiences or observations. So first you are collecting information based on experience or observation. Okay, then you're going to classify the information. After that you're going to come to a conclusion, and that conclusion is always based on hard evidence. The fourth one is generalization. For the thing is, we can't do a research on entire population. For example, India, the Indian population, if you want to know what are the tastes of Indian population, we don't go and talk to all the 1.3 billion people. What we do is we take a few rich people, we take a few middle class people, we take a few poor people, and we create a sample. Okay, that sample is supposed to represent the entire population, which is also known as universe. Okay, so a researcher can conduct a research on a sample of respondents. Okay, the people who will respond are called respondents. So we always do it on a sample that represent the universe. Universe is the entire uh, population of India, for example. Okay, research findings can be applied to larger population. So what is because they the because the sample represents the population, represents the universe, because the sample represents the universe, so whatever applies to the sample should be applicable to the universe also, right? Okay, the fifth point, the conclusion will be valid and verifiable. This concept implies that the researcher's conclusion on the basis of findings is correct and can be verified by others. So, what it means is, if this research has been done by this researcher and this is the conclusion he has received, if someone else does this research, he will also get the same results. Okay. For example, in multiplication, like you say 2 into 2 is 4 or 2 plus 2 is 4. Anyone does the addition or does the multiplication gets the same answers. So it's the same way. Anyone does the research based on that facts, they should get the same conclusion, same findings. Okay, that is what it means. Okay, sixth one, multi-purpose activity. Research is a multi-purpose activity. It helps to discover new facts or to innovate old facts. So there are more than one kind of activities involved. So what happens is either old facts are rediscovered or innovated, or you find out totally new facts. One of these two will happen. Okay. So let's look at characteristics 7 and 8. So totally we have 8 characteristics. Okay. So coming to the seventh one, development of principles and theories. A systematic research helps to develop new principles and theories. Such principles and theories can be useful to several others to manage and deal with people and things in a better way. So, a research will always help others who are falling behind us. Maybe a few years later, a few generations later, even a century later. People who have done researches earlier, their research has helped many of us to come up, to use that as a guide, as a reference, right? So A systematic research is very important. If it is not systematic, it is useless. If it is not scientific, not using scientific methods, it is useless. So you must remember that. And all the data must be gathered properly. It should not be biased, it has to be objective, and you have read all the characteristics, right? So all that it should fulfill. Then that research can be useful not just for the person who is conducting the research, but also for others. Okay, going to the eighth one. Critical scrutiny of the procedures followed and the methods employed. Critical scrutiny is crucial to a research inquiry. The process of investigation must be foolproof and free from drawbacks. The procedure adopted and the process adopted and the procedures used must be able to withstand critical scrutiny. So, when the research is completed, you will have to show your research to invigilators, right? You will have to show your research to the invigilators or to the department or to the industry or to the ministry. Whoever is asking you to conduct the research, you will have to show them your research, right? So in that case, your process, the way you have conducted the research, the procedure you have adopted, the methods you have used, all that will be questioned. You have to satisfy them and give clear cut answers, and any questions which are asked critically, any scrutiny that happens or any scrutiny of the data should come out clear. If your process is foolproof and there are no bias and no mistakes, then you will have a good research which will stand the test of time. It will last for years, if not for years, means not just a few years but decades and centuries. Okay, so it is always important to have very good data, then good classification of the data, and after that you have to collate it and create information out of the data and then come to a conclusion. Okay, so if your data is not correct, your conclusion will not be correct. You would have heard this in computer science, right? The GIGO principle: garbage in, garbage out. If your data is wrong, your conclusion will be wrong. If your data is correct, your conclusion must be correct. If you have followed everything correctly, if you have gone wrong in the procedure somewhere, it is still possible to go wrong. So you must ensure you follow the procedure strictly and employ the correct methods, and you will get a very good result. Okay, so there are different ways of collecting data, right? So first you collect all the data you can get, okay, all the relevant data, okay, and then you are trying to understand the data, okay, and that will be giving you some kind of idea, and you're going to use scientific methodology to find the answers to the question, and that is what is research. Okay, research is one of the ways of finding answers to questions. Okay, there are other ways also, but what is the difference? The difference between research and other ways of obtaining answers to questions is that in a research process you work within a framework of a set of philosophies or scientific methodologies, right? We use methods that have been tested for validity and reliability, and the attempt is to be unbiased and objective. Okay, so we also saw the 8 characteristics of research, right? So in the next video we'll look at what is a research question, the aims and goals of research. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful to understand resource management. Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.